Why do we blow the shofar? What does it symbolize? How can or should it speak to us today? I'm Nigel Savage, CEO of Chazon, the Jewish Lab for Sustainability. We want to suggest and sketch out for you now a range of associations that help us understand the sound of the shofar with fresh insight and meaning.
The first thing is that the shofar is literally a ram's horn. It comes from an animal. It's a reminder that everything around us, our food, our clothing, all that sustains us comes from nature. And it's so easy to forget this. At Adama, a program of Chazon, we use the shofar as a functional tool as well. We use it during ceremony, and also it can be used to draw together our fellows from across the field, across the sadeh. So when you next hear the shofar being blown, you can think about that ram's head it was attached to and how else we relate to the natural world.
The second thing is that the shofar is old. It is a truly ancient symbol. As Carly said, pastoralists and agriculturalists have almost certainly been blowing shofar to bring people together for millennia. In Jewish tradition, we have certainly been blowing the shofar for more than 20 centuries. From the moment of divine revelation in the wilderness at Sinai to the call of the Jubilee year, the Yovel, the shofar is a reminder to us of just how ancient Jewish tradition is. And as we blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, may we also hear in it a subtle critique of the speed and pace of modern life. A shofar comes to remind us of ancient days. And as my friend Rabbi Isaiah Rothstein likes to say, it calls us to slow down.
The third thing about the shofar is that we blow it in times of celebration, precisely because it is ancient and natural, and because it is somehow so elemental. It is something that is, in a sense, a calling of the people, in a good sense. This is one of the reasons that Chazon has blown a shofar at the start of the bike rides, to remember the natural world, to recall the ancientness of the Jewish tradition, and to celebrate, to mark the moment. And 20 centuries ago, we regularly blew the shofar at the temple in Jerusalem. It made sense that when the Kotel, the western wall of the temple precinct, once again became freely accessible to the Jewish people, that Rav Goren marked the moment by blowing the shofar.
The fourth thing about the shofar is that we blow it in times of alarm. In times of crisis or in the face of tragedy, the shofar calls us to awareness and action. When you hear the shofar this Rosh Hashanah, hear the sounds of the COVID-19 epidemic. Feel the heat of the hottest decade ever recorded, and remember the inequities repeatedly brought to light in this country and around the world over the last year. A year ago, Chazon took a billboard in Times Square calling 5780 to be the year of environmental tshuva. Our aim was to draw awareness to our personal role in the climate crisis and to reflect on what that might mean for our Jewish identities. This year, on Earth Day, we launched an event called Sound the Call, inviting people to blow shofarot around the world to sound the alarm for environmental degradation and social injustice while calling for change. United by sound, we are moved to act. So when we hear the sound of the shofar, we hear this cautionary note. We blow the shofar to warn ourselves to change our ways, to do teshuvah, to think about the ways our actions matter, to both repent from where we have fallen astray and return, we hope, to our best selves.
So all of these are things that we think about when we blow shofar. It's from the natural world. It reminds us of the ancientness of Jewish tradition. It's blown for celebration, and it's blown at a time of alarm. And there is one final and fifth aspect to it, a sense of personal trepidation, an acknowledgement of our own fears and our own pains. This is the cry of Sisera's mother. This is the whelping sound which transcends human language. So when we listen to the shofar blast, we should have some sense of our own fear, of the different things of which we're afraid. We should allow these shofar blasts to somehow release our fears, to give voice to them, in some sense, to let them go. We blow shofar every morning of Elul, apart from Shabbat, to awaken us to all of this. We blow shofar on Rosh Hashanah to focus on all of this. And then finally, after we hope we have done our internal work, we come to that very final shofar blast, that Tekiah Gedolah, at the end of Yom Kippur. When we hear that, we must face the very greatest fear of all, what our lives would look like if we were unafraid. What our lives would look like if we were unafraid. That's where we're going in all this. That's how we celebrate the world, how we breathe life into Jewish tradition, how we build the communities in the world that we want to see. By doing the work, by self-critiquing, observing, listening, reflecting, committing to be better. And if we can, catapulting ourselves back out of this period into the world, less afraid, more determined, kinder, ready and willing to be our best selves. Shana Tova and Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be so.
We're sounding the call on behalf of Hazon to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Earth Day.
Hazon.org, hashtag sound the call.
I was at the first Earth Day. I apologize for not doing more. Let's recommit ourselves in this horrible moment. Use it as an opportunity to have the whole world be able to breathe again.
She's sounding the call. That's Becky. Do what she does. Bark!